Black.
All right, and in 3, 2, 1, I'm live here with Donny Peroddy. This is the third go because of random nonsense, technical difficulties and whatnot. How's your day been?
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you up to on like a daily, weekly basis?
I work retail, so it's been pretty insane. With the students being back. My best friend's mom fell yesterday and broke her hip.
Woof.
So she's down here from Portland to take care of her mom for probably 6 weeks. I developed a rash, and I had biopsies done. They're sending it to the Mayo Clinic. This is just a
Medical week.
It's it's just a little hint into my life.
Yeah,
it's
really though.
It's really insane.
So what got you to here? And you say like students are back. You mean just like people go shop around a lot, or what does that have to do with things?
Well, the University of Oregon students are back because school started yesterday, and they're all moving back in. And since COVID last year, nobody was here, and so parents want their kids out. And, here we're going to go spend a bunch of money on you to get you, wherever. Yeah. So that's basically, it's just been, pretty crazy. And supply chain for retail is not nice right now.
No,
there's barges sitting out in the ocean and you can't get any product. So, and when you're taking your kid to college and you don't have what they want, they don't understand, reality.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
While we air this episode, I am currently back and hooked on nicotine. I'm so sorry for audio listeners who have no idea, but I'm hitting a jewel. Video listeners, I've been on, like, some there will be episodes where Kenzie and I are like, look at us, we're 6 days of no juuling, and then, a close friend of ours is like, oh, I have an extra pod, or like, they're vaping and you just hit it again. Nicotine is a son of a bitch, is it not?
I've smoked for about 45 years.
45 is an amount of time. Holy cow.
Yeah, I just turned 55 last month.
Yeah. You ever take any like breaks or like 45 straight?
I've quit and bought a new car. So I wouldn't smoke in my car. And I bought a beautiful car. And then I started smoking again.
In the car?
Then I did start smoking in the car. And then I got rid of that car.
Yeah.
And I got another new car.
Yeah.
And I got rid of that. And then during COVID, I went to get a haircut. And after getting my hair cut, I stopped and bought another brand new car.
Oh my Lord!
And I've not smoked in it yet.
Is there something about used cars where you're just like, this isn't good enough for the Donny?
I don't buy used cars.
I don't.
No, honestly, I don't.
Yeah.
I bought one used car.
Someone has ridden in this once. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not an elitist.
That's my dream to be at that place. Holy cow, man!
I'm not an elitist or anything.
Yeah.
The last used car I bought was a Chevy Silverado because I lived out in Cheshire. I bought 10 acres and a house.
Wow.
And I needed a truck.
Yeah.
Because, hauling stuff and whatnot. And so I bought this truck, and I used it for Burning Man, too, because I'd haul all of our Burning Man stuff out there.
Yeah, as a brief getting to know you. So you go to Burning Man. You know of, like, Mark and Arcimoto and stuff like that?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
You run in the same circles for, a while now?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a cool place to be. I mean, Kenzie and I were moderately invited to Burning Man this year. We missed it. Heartbreak of our year, but we'll make it next year or the year after,
Yeah.
It was that whole idea of a not a burn where it's like, well, is there going to be medical tents? And nobody could be like, yes, there'll for sure be this much infrastructure that we're like, I don't want like a windstorm to throw like a tent and then I get a pole through my leg and be like, oh yeah, you can just drive about 3 hours and go get to medical care. So we were like, no,
air flight out to Reno.
Exactly. So we said no this year. But what's been your, and right when Zubair got back from Burning Man, we did an immediate show right when we got back. It was a lot of fun. How many times have you been to the Burn?
I've been to the Burn 9 years.
So
but I haven't been there for a while.
Yeah? What made you stop?
My dad had a major heart attack and a stroke.
Oh.
And
medical.
Yeah.
It's
well,
the medical
no,
hour.
It was he was in Reno. And so when that happened, I actually had the time off, and they always know that I take country fair off, and I take the burn off.
Are you a camp country fair? So like we're a booth like 80, or I'm booth like 83 or something like that.
I'm staff.
You're staff.
Yeah.
You're the people who kick me out when I slide in sometimes.
No, I'm not security. I'm reefer.
Oh, ice.
Reefer. Ice and reefer are right next door to each other.
Oh, okay. Nice like that.
Yeah. We're a family.
Yeah.
Chillville is
It's funny, whenever
our
people
camp.
say they're going to go get reefer, then they go get ice. Maybe I just completely
because they
mixed
go
the
up to
two.
reefer.
That's hilarious. For some reason, I was
talking about.
Country
I've never
fair.
been. I've
Oh,
lived here
really?
my whole life, and I've never been to country fair.
Oh my
so-
gosh.
Yeah, I know. Big missed opportunity. But so we've been together 5 years, and we were in Corvallis for like 3 or 4 of it. So
Okay.
now that we're in the area, of course, Country Fair isn't running. So now that it's running and we're in the area, we might go. We'll see with any luck.
It's happening?
It is
Who
next
knows?
year. They got a huge grant just recently, you know, like for 1.8 million or something like that. You know,
Oh.
there's a lot of stipulations. Yeah, I've been going for 20 years, so knowing some of the infrastructure and whatnot a little bit. I mean, I'm not on board of directors or anything like that. And I started out as a working in a booth until I got kicked out of that booth.
Yeah,
and
for what? Story or not? Nothing special. Smoking reefer. on the
No,
job.
no,
I'm
no,
kidding.
no. It was the mud year. And
classic.
it was just horrific.
That was a shit show of a
and
year.
It was, and so
Mosquito
yeah,
year.
I missed my shift, and so they said, well, you're gone, and I was like, oh no, and then
Yeah.
they're like, oh no, come back, and a staff member said, hey, we want you to come and be on our staff with us, so that got me up there, which
Nice.
I'm really happy about. I love Reefer. It's a great spot. It's a great camp.
I like it.
And
Yeah.
we're high land,
Yeah.
so we don't have mosquitoes. We're the only camp that has electricity.
Ooh, look
know.
at you.
Yeah, we're right next to the ware barn. Fire's right next to us. Water's right next to us.
So we're seeing
Entertainment is right
moderately
next to us.
professional Donny right now, but in your free time, you're like wearing burn and or country fair outfit. Do you go to any other festivals or fairs? Like
Yeah, you know, string cheese. You know, hang out at string cheese.
Mark is an
instance.
unbelievable fan of string cheese.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
put that band on like 3 or 4 times. Where it's almost like Imagine Grateful Dead, but kind of like folky.
47 shows.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. So you follow him like the Grateful Dead. You like dance in the
No,
circles
47
and-
Grateful Dead shows.
Holy cow. Wow. That's
Yeah.
wild. So wait, I'm completely misjudging your age. How old are you then?
55.
Okay. Wow. So you started going, or you started smoking when you were like 10?
Yep.
Holy, that's also what I was going off. I'm like, oh, I guess he said he smoked for 20 years
40
or
years.
45 years, 40 years. So like, how do you even get a cigarette when you're that age? I guess everything's you've been alive for the whole transition away from smoking's good for you, smoking's fun and cool to like you're inside, no smoking for you.
Well, yeah, no, that's, you know, my dad smoked, so I'd steal his cigarettes.
You'd steal cigarettes.
Of course I did.
Nice. I only took alcohol from my parents because that's like the classic thing. Is like you take the alcohol and you like top it off with
My
water.
parents didn't drink.
They didn't drink. My parents
No.
didn't really drink, and that's why I don't have a massive inclination toward it. I took a shot of tequila before the show. I've been taking about 1 shot of tequila before every show, and it's really, I don't know, maybe it's degraded the quality of the show quite a bit. But
Right.
like again, on alcohol, you're like, man, this is going great. And then you
Right.
listen to it back, and you're like, oh, that was horrible.
Well, I used to drink a lot of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to weigh like 245 pounds.
Holy, and you're down to 160?
165.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dropped that. I quit that. I quit sugar.
You lost 80 pounds in what
Yeah.
span of time? That's nuts.
It was pretty
2 weeks.
rapid. No. It was pretty rapid. You know, probably like, I think it was probably like 6 months total, you know?
What was the big change in your life that made that happen? Just literally
I
cutting out
needed
beer?
to get healthy, and
Yeah.
you know, so I knew that the beer was not good for me, and so I quit beer. I still drink
Yeah.
a lot. I mean,
a ton.
yeah, I mean not a ton, but I mean I drink vodka, but I haven't had a beer in a long time.
Something on beer, like beer leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's like you really aren't going to get the upsides. Like beer gives me a bigger hangover than any other alcohol. Like people treat drinking like it's like half for fun and half to get drunk. I'm like, no, I want to get drunk without the hangover. Like that's the goal, you know? I want to treat it like an actual proper drug. I'm like, I want the most upside with the least downside from this. But a lot of people are like, no, it's like the art of how the artisans like craft the hops and stuff, which I respect in many regards, but it's not personally for me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So you're just a vodka drinker for the most part, or like a hard A?
You know, Portland potato vodka is my fave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I tried this rack. It was like Icelandic vodka, and they said it was weeded and it had
It's good.
almost no bite to it. It surprised the heck out of me. Most vodka's made out of potatoes.
No, there's grain potatoes and there's various ones, but I like the potato vodkas. You
Cool.
know,
I'll have to try one of each.
mm-hmm.
Taste the
Yeah.
difference? Seems like all vodka's vodka.
It's so clean. The Portland potato vodka is really tasty.
All right,
I
you
really enjoy
convinced
it.
us. We'll try
Yeah.
it next time. Because again, we just run down to Red Apple. Like before some shows, like heavy drinkers, I'll like just set the bottle right there and be like, let's go for it. But then most episodes I don't. Do you smoke CBD by chance?
I do.
Yeah, I have CBD joints we could light up during this.
I'm all
episode.
right for a minute.
Cool.
You know?
If you ever do want one, because then I like set out ashtrays. I assume for some random reason I'm like, he doesn't smoke CBD. Normally we like close that door because again, so you can see the the fire detector in the plastic bag in there, but the rest of the house has one, and it like you don't want the whole house to reek up.
Absolutely.
Much like a new car.
Right.
We're moderately new apartment or duplex for us, and we've been in here. Not even quite 2 months, a month and a half, almost 2 months.
Almost.
So we still has that new car feel where you like get it and you're like, I want to treat it really nicely. But then at a certain extent, you're just like, honestly, the nice thing about CBD or weed smoke or whatever, doesn't really fuck up the house.
No.
You know, you can kind of smoke what you want indoors. The last guest brought like these fun they're like weeds that you find around, not actual weed, but weeds that you find around like in Oregon, and you crush them up and dry them, and then you can smoke them, and it like clears your congestion. You get
Mullein.
mullein.
Oh,
That was the name
mullein.
of it, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you know some of these things.
Yeah.
Nice. So we tried smoking it last time on air live. I tried smoking. I didn't really notice a big difference. Have you? I mean, you're aware of it.
It's been a long time since I've
Yeah.
smoked mullein.
People are like, oh man, it like open up the not areolas, but the alveoli.
I know, I always get those mixed
I
up.
always want to say areola.
'Cause it's such a funny word, like the
Totally.
actual word, so I always like to fuck around with
Yeah.
it.
But,
Silly.
yeah, man. So what are you hoping for that happens in the next like year or so of your life? Like you got something you're excited for, working toward? Are you like in a low spell, or like what's cracking with you?
I mean, I need to get through the next couple of weeks of my life and find out what's going on with this biopsy thing. And I'm actually
'Cause
trying
you're pregnant?
to.
Biopsy?
Pardon?
You're pregnant?
No.
what kind of biopsy?
Cancer biopsy.
Woof.
Yeah.
Again, back to medical. So that's
Yeah.
like a pretty overarching, what do they call it, theme or something in your life? Like they have
Well, it has been before, but
Motif, there we
until recently, it just jumped back out, and so we'll see what happens with it. I'm keeping a really positive attitude.
Nice.
We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah.
Sadly, 10 out of 10 of us are going to die, and it's going to be one way or another.
Yeah, it's
and you
rough.
just don't judge how it's going to happen. So I'm content with everything. I mean, the last year of my life has been pretty amazing.
Score.
In
what regard? Like, I mean, the last year has been a shit show for almost everyone else. What would you say that makes like, oh, the last year was awesome for you?
Well, I got really back into a really deep friendship with a friend of mine that I've known for 40 years.
Yeah.
I'm this person that knows people forever.
Nice.
And so her birthday was coming up, and she wanted to come up to the Oregon coast. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
From
So-
Bay Area? Or
No,
you say
she's
up
from
front?
Reno.
Oh, cool, nice.
Yeah. So, and her son is a DJ down in Houston. And I tried to go down to his big show with her, but it didn't work out.
It's a long way to drive for one show.
I'd
I mean,
fly.
I was going to be like, I barely drive 20 minutes to go see a friend. Holy cow, that's some
Yeah.
dedication.
Yeah, no, I flew. It was first class, and it cost me $5.15.
Wow, because of miles or what?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I played that game. So,
I play that game.
Oh.
I like it.
So I flew into Reno and to meet her, and at the same time, I was going to meet my family, my brothers. I have 3 brothers that live there. Both of my parents are deceased, and that's when I was going to take them out to dinner and let them know that I'm, coming out straight as gay.
Wow.
And dinner, they're like, "Duh." It's like, okay, thanks, I appreciate that.
So they've known
whatever.
you for like 40 years, you said?
My brothers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
then
for
you've known your
55
whole
years.
life.
Yeah.
And they
but-
said, duh, that was
Uh-huh.
hilarious.
Yeah. Well, and Linda, my friend that I went down to see, who I stayed with, because I flew in, and then we were going to drive up to Crater Lake, and a dear friend of mine that had killed herself 8 years ago, I had some ashes of hers that we wanted to release at Crater Lake.
Nice.
So we did that, and Linda and I had an amazing trip. It was so much fun. And
Was it the classic Big Lebowski thing where you like
It
throw it up?
was!
Was it? And it blows
so
right into a friend's
was.
face.
It blew into my face. The first time I threw it out,
Yeah.
it was perfect. And
Yeah.
she's like, I got to get my camera. I got to, And then there was a guy I think he's from San Francisco Park next to us, and he was eating a sandwich. And I threw it out, and it just came right back in my face. And he's like, "Oh my God, that's the Big Lebowski."
Yeah.
And yeah, it was
That's
pretty
the perfect
hilarious.
take.
Oh yeah. It was it was pretty funny.
Nice.
So So, dealing with that, and we had an amazing trip, and did abandon circles in the sand. Have you ever heard of that? Yeah, they take rakes out there and build these circles and all this,
Kind of like those mini sand gardens, but at a way bigger
Well,
level.
yeah, but it's not really even a sand garden. It's like a pathway that you walked through, and it was just amazing. And
But with rakes, so you're like making it look really aesthetic, or you like love it?
Oh, it's amazing.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
Out in Bandon, Oregon.
Bandon, Oregon.
We'll have to go look that up after the show.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I've got pictures I can show you.
Nice. Yeah, I'd like to see it. You just hold it up like kind of to the camera. Audio listeners, what the heck are they talking about?
Right.
It's like 5 minutes to find it.
And then we went up to Manzanita and spent 5 days in Manzanita. My friend Don met us there. And that was interesting because I lost my phone. I lost my glasses. I can't see without my glasses. And I was driving, so I had to drive back to Eugene in the dark with my sunglasses on, which are prescription.
Yeah, so it's even darker. A person like you balling out on like new cars and first class, I'm surprised you didn't get LASIK. Or is that are you?
I don't know
Not
because
for you. Not
the
for
people
lasers pointing at your eyes.
the people that I know that have had it have to do it again. And I don't want somebody to cut on my body that many times.
Yeah, it's
know.
kind of sus.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I never get it. I mean, we're very fortunate at this point in our life. I have a deep theory, but before I get into that, you mentioned you play that game with the credit card. Have you heard of churning? There's like a very specific word for people who like get credit cards and like get the rewards from it. Some people go as far as, so it's like, oh, if you spend like $3,000 in the first 2 months, you get however many miles. They go to places like Walmart and they buy a $500 like PayPal gift card or like something like that, and then they put it in their account and they immediately pay it off. And it counts as a purchase at Walmart. So
that's
like,
interesting.
And like they're slowly starting to like cut out these different ways. But there's a whole subreddit called r/churning about how people get the most rewards from the most credit cards. It's hilarious.
Oh, interesting.
I know.
I've not heard of that.
Yeah.
I usually, I'll typically pay my bills with my credit cards and then just pay it off.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way.
You're talking to a man who has $3,000, not limit, but a $3,000 load on his credit card right now. So I had the initial thing of like, oh, I'll just pay it off. And then I'm like, ooh, that is a son of a bitch.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. And so I just got my first credit card 5 months ago, and they gave me an $8,000 limit for someone who's $25,000 in debt with almost no income and no, not liabilities, but no assets.
The other one.
So they're wild. They took a big gamble on me. They said, I bet you can get $8,000 in debt and get yourself out of it. And I'm like, woo,
I don't think that's what they want, though. I don't think they want you to get out of it. Is the
They
whole
don't.
thing.
That's
No.
right.
They're
And
like-
those interest rates are killers.
Oh, my Lord.
That's why I pay them right off.
Especially,
Yeah, mine's like
when you're
23%.
a
They
new
got me.
credit
Yeah, I'm a
card.
newbie. I'm a new credit card guy.
I'm like, I got that 15% maximum, girl.
Yeah.
Like,
Holy cow. You're probably down at like 9 or something wild, aren't you?
I don't pay interest. I pay it off as
pay it
soon
off
as it
every
does.
month.
you're
Yeah.
so responsible.
I'm old.
I don't pay interest. You just call it the credit card. Oh, sorry, Donny. We'll change yours to 0 then. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'll just pay it off. And then I see all these miles rack up, and it's like, okay, I'm going to Mexico, or I'm
Nice.
going to do this, or going to do
That's
that.
a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that, I mean, both of our friends, Mark, he has an airline credit card as well, and he like mentioned, I'm like, aren't you like really against gas? It's hilarious. Just like,
flying?
yeah, flying and stuff like that. Because I'm like, Kenzie and I always just talk about like taking trips or like going to Hawaii and stuff like that. And it's like,
We're not at that level
The
yet.
gruff we get. Yeah. I mean, we'll like once every half a decade.
I was going to say we've gone on 2 trips. One was pretty much funded by your folks.
Yeah,
Let's
my
be
folks,
real.
like as a graduation present, we went to the
Yeah.
Baja Strip.
Which was
But then
really
we paid our own way to go to Hawaii or Kauai, and it was like, oh my God, we want to do this all the time. And then like less than a year later, the pandemic happens, and then we're like, man, traveling is kind of expensive. If you have your whole flight paid for, that's like the biggest part of traveling by far.
It really
that
is,
was our
yeah.
biggest expense.
Yeah,
What
it really
part-
is.
What part of Mexico do you go for?
I go to Sayulita, which is just north of Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
It's a beautiful little
Is that the
fishing
Yucatan
town.
Peninsula?
No, it's on the it's the Baja side.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I used to go there
So you go to
every
like
year.
desert then. You go to like almost plains desert.
I go everywhere. I've been to Guatemala, I've been to Paris, I've been to France, I've been to Italy, I've been to Canada. I've done some traveling, which I love. When the pandemic hit, I was in Mexico, and they closed the border on us as we were flying into the States. So I almost didn't make it back.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm kidding like that.
Well, yeah. I don't want to be stuck in Mexico
Pro
for the
and cons, for
pandemic.
sure.
You know, yeah. So
Ooh.
that was interesting.
Yeah. You mentioned it a while ago, and I want to circle back to it because I'm so curious. What's it like waiting till 55 or 54 to come out? Like, even to your own family, like that's such, like everyone has stories of like, oh yeah, I was in high school or whenever, but like it was a long time coming.
Well, I mean, just to verbalize it is the thing that I wanted to do. And I really just wanted to do it to my brothers, to my family,
Totally.
I mean, everybody that knows me knows who I am. And, I mean, I've been away from family for 22 years. So,
Lucky man.
know.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, you're not kidding.
You?
You're honestly not
They said,
kidding.
duh. I mean, I was married to a man at that point. Like literally just like verbalizing.
Well, no, I almost
it.
got married twice in my life. 2 women.
To 2 women.
Yeah, 2, not at the same time, but I
Yeah,
almost got
just-
married to,
I almost
to,
married
to
to
2
2
women.
That'd be an
And then
awkward ceremony.
My other friend, that I was with, Linda, we were talking, and she's like, you fucked most of my friends. And I said, yeah, I did.
Oh my god.
That's
hilarious.
And so, I mean, I toyed around, but I think I came to a realization that, there was something else that I, wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't necessarily a relationship with a woman. It was more of a man, you
Yeah.
know? I think men are fucking sexual. I think they're just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
They're, yeah.
So a person came on my show and he's like one of like the closest friends that I've ever like made who's like someone who's gay, because normally in life it's a very low percent of the population who's like that, like, and so talking to him I was like, for some reason I'm personally not gay purely because I'm like the man's mindset, and he's like, oh, that's interesting because that's how I feel about a woman's mindset. So is it like more physical or purely just like the mental aspect of like the way men think and kind of something like that, or is it just like
It's physical.
more like breasts and stuff? Okay, cool. Yeah,
I mean, men are dicks.
that's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably why I'm still single. So,
Even for the gay community, you're a player. Just like,
yeah.
that's fun. So you said, the reason why I rushed the intro so much for everyone listening is because this is the 3rd, maybe even 4th time that we went for it. The first couple times you had said you're from Reno and you came to Oregon, you're staying here forever. So we'll jump all the way back to that. What made you say Oregon? And you've been here like 20, 30?
22 years.
22 years.
Yeah. I grew up in Reno. I went to college in Helena, Montana.
Cool.
I was raised Roman Catholic.
Fun.
I went to private Catholic schools for 14 years.
Doesn't do any
And I was
damage.
not held back. I mean, that was 1st through 12th grade and then 2 years of college. And I met one of my very dearest friends. Her name is Cindy. And we shared some time up in Carroll College at Helena, Montana. And we became famous friends.
Oh.
And so she left and came here to Eugene.
What's
She's
famous
from
friends? Hold up. Like everyone like says you 2 in a pair. Like people don't even say, oh, that's Donny. They're like, oh, that's Donny out of this 2 pair. Like what's a famous friend?
Famous friends is everybody knows how much of friends we are.
Cool. Yeah.
It's not oh, you really know that person? No,
Yeah.
they're famous friends.
Nice.
And so she came back here. She went to U of O. She's from Astoria. And she was dating another friend that I hadn't met yet, a friend, and they moved to Reno for a summer. They used to recruit students to come down and work in the casinos. And so they came down and we spent a summer together. And that was when I went to my first Grateful Dead shows with them.
Nice.
And
then you're like, boom, 47 others. I'm coming.
Yeah, and so, we spent the whole summer together. It was amazing. I tried to move up here several times, and it just never really worked out. And then with work...
Tried to move up here. So you had Eugene in mind. It wasn't even like a place that you happened to travel through, and you said, like... what do you
No.
mean?
I had been here, a couple of times. I had come up here to visit for the first time. I drove up here, and on the way back to Reno, I hit black ice. And almost totaled my car.
Oof.
And it
A
was
new
just-
car.
No, it was a Ford Ranger. It wasn't brand new.
That was the darkest days of my life. I had to buy used cars.
That was when I was young.
Yeah. What is it about new cars? I gotta ask. Like, we'll get back to the Grateful Dead story. But I'm so curious because I'm like, we look at new cars and we're like you lose whatever 20% as soon as you drive off the lot. Like we see new car. Kenzie and I don't know if we'll ever get a new car. You know, maybe a Tesla. That would be the dream.
Or an
but, like,
Arcimoto.
or an Arcimoto.
Or an Arcimoto, yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
But like, is do you just not like? Do you just like knowing that no one else has driven it?
No.
Is it the reliability?
Yeah.
Because that's my biggest draw.
No, it's just me.
Huh?
That's how I am.
Cool.
You know, I mean, I'm a different breed.
If you can do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could do it, I would definitely drive.
That's
your
why I
car.
do it.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I don't want somebody else's car.
I feel that.
You know,
They've named it.
yeah.
They've done who knows what. They've wiped boogers on the seats, all that kind
Oh
of
my
stuff.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You don't want to look under the seats of anybody's
No.
car. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah,
I don't even let people in my car.
right. Yeah, no, but and this one, it's a sweet car, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Nice.
But yeah, so
Driving back, hit black ice, almost total your Ford Ranger.
and I got to Klamath Falls. I got towed out. Several people stopped me, and I got to Klamath Falls, and I was just like, I cannot drive to Reno.
Yeah.
I cannot go any further. I was alone, and I saw a Shiloh Inn, and so I went and rented a suite that had a king size bed because that was the only thing that was available. And I was just like, and I called the airport. Klamath Falls does not have an airport because I wanted to fly back, and I had an interview for Bed Bath & Beyond
fun.
when I got back, and I missed that because I was stuck in Klamath Falls.
Yeah.
And but then when I got back, it worked out. My truck was great, and I got the job.
Nice.
And so, yeah, that's kind of history.
Interesting to tell an employer that you get hired for. Yeah, so I totaled my car, so I'm going to be a little bit late for the thing.
Oh.
In what world?
Right.
You know, nowadays they're like, oh, you're 10 seconds late, cut.
It's so true.
There's very cool companies. So you love like the whole bed. I mean, I'm saying this from faith. Like, so she's in the medical industry, and I've worked here and there jobs all over, and we both notice an unbelievable amount of plastic used. Like you in the retail business, does it kind of break your heart how much?
Absolutely.
You just
Absolutely.
look at it and you're like, this is
Well,
gonna
that's
be
not my
forever.
that was not my career of choice. I have a degree in culinary arts.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was a chef for many years, but it's not easy to be a chef.
No,
You
it is
drink a
not.
lot.
You drink a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And so I got into retail, and I mean, it's,
And they drink less, but still a lot. No, I'm kidding.
right.
No.
Well, I make a good living. I have a good life, so I'm pretty happy with it. You know,
No,
I mean,
so were you like one of the Anthony Bourdain fanboys, or like?
I liked Anthony Bourdain. I'm more classic. Jacques Pepin, Julia Child. I met Jacques Pepin and Julia Child.
She's so
Yeah.
old, and every
Big
time I've
fan
seen
of
her.
butter.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
me too.
Classic French
Yeah.
chef. I mean, she
Is that how you were trained in like French cooking?
No, I actually trained under a Southern chef. She
Not
was,
typical.
yeah, no.
It's all
no.
about mastering sweet tea.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she's the one that taught me how to drink bourbon at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oof.
You just get a brown cup, put a couple ice cubes in it, pour bourbon, and drink. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I had to
early.
leave out of the,
Yeah.
I
You're like,
couldn't do that.
Thinking about this, you wake up. I don't want to drink. People, you have to. It's your job.
Right. She's like, okay, it's that time.
Yeah.
Come here,
Are
come
you
here.
sober? Go home.
Oh, right. No kidding. Yeah.
So I worked at Chipotle for like a month, and the chef there was also drunk at like 8, 10. Well, as soon as we were like opening, he was drunk. And then like eventually the managers have to be like, you cannot do this, man. Like we're opening. It's like literally I know, crazy, isn't it?
Whoa.
So, like, by
Why
the
is
end-
it such a thing?
Yeah.
It's just such a harsh, I mean, it's so busy, and I mean, you've got so many crunch things to go at, and it's just easy enough to self-medicate with a glass of booze, and go that way.
We personally, again, the reason that I've never been into booze is because I've started self-medicating with kratom years and years and years ago. Is this something like you must see signs for all over, don't you?
I do.
Have you ever tried it though?
I have not.
You not. It's something that I'm like it's a one or the other kind of situation. They both dehydrate you. So if you take both, you just like wake up and you feel like you ever seen SpongeBob?
Uh-huh.
You're all like when SpongeBob's in oxygen, he's all like wrinkled up. He's like, I'm dry. I'm like, God, if there's one substance out there like drug that would hydrate you, that'd mean the world to me. I'd be like, oh, thank God I can like topple this on like even nicotine here. Like the more I vape this, if I like went through a whole pod in a day, I just feel dry, and I'm like, why do these all do that? You know, I get they all like go through your bladder and it like takes urine to get the substance out, but I'm like, God. Can't drug addicts get one attaboy where it's like, oh, you can take this and it's just fun and easy to you.
Right.
It just gives you horrible edema. You're just so swollen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the opposite way. It's like salt. Oh, that'd be funny. But yeah, so how long were you a chef for? Or do you just like get trained in it and then say, oh, there's no? I mean, that's the classic saying.
No, I mean, I went to culinary school. I did it professionally for 10 years.
Whew.
I used to do little 10-year stints, you know.
Yeah.
I would do this for 10 years, and then I moved to something else. And this is, you know, I've been in retail for, you know, almost 30 years.
Wow, 3 stints in a row.
Yeah, and like I say, you know, I mean, it's a good living for me. I'm successful. I'm happy. Well, happy, you know.
Wait, I'm happy. Well, happy. It's hilarious. You correct it with saying the wording. I mean, people say those are the 2 great addictions in life, heroin and a monthly salary. You know,
right.
like that is a big aspect of it too. I mean, like a lot of people I know, they'll be very happy with whatever they're doing as long as like their paycheck comes in. But I'm like, there's something that was just like from such an early age where I'm like, not homeless, but I'd rather be living like, I value free time over money, because there's a certain aspect to me I'm like, I'm not good at turning money into happiness again. Like I try to buy things and I'm like, oh, this is a cool toy, and that's Mark's Switch, and I got like Super Smash Bros and a couple controllers. I'm like, 1 week later I'm like, I hate this. It's like so are you good at turning money back into happiness?
I travel.
That probably helps, doesn't it? Nice. Yeah,
That's basically what I spend my money on is
nice,
you know,
new cars and traveling.
New cars and traveling. Yeah.
Yeah, again, that's definitely the one downside of life that I'm living. I'm like, not a lot of room for traveling, you know.
But you're young.
But I'm young. Yeah, 24. So what between 24 and 54? What do I have to look forward to in the next 30 years? Is there anything like?
You have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you make your own destiny, so you just have to dream about what you want to do, and create that destiny.
I'm never a good dreamer, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm not much of a dreamer either.
Yeah.
But you can create your own destiny.
Cool. And so you've seen that like manifestation stuff, like, and I mean, it's funny because like we hear Mark say like 10 years ago he's like, oh, I'm gonna have that building, and then now Arcimoto has that building. That's the ramp and stuff like that. Are you one of those people like you looking back things that you've wanted kind of become reality, or what do you mean in that sense?
No, I fly by the ass of my pants.
Nice. I'm a one day later manifester. You want something, boom, it exists.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, he really did that? Yep,
Yeah.
I did.
Score.
Here it is.
Yeah, I'm going to lose 80 pounds. People see you a half year later. What in the fuck is going on
That's
here?
a pretty fast
Math.
transformation.
Did you flex back up like 20 pounds or something, or
No.
you kept it off?
I've pretty much kept it off.
Beer is a son of a bitch, it sounds like then. you
Oh
know?
my gosh.
Well, probably, did that coincide with you leaving your culinary career?
No, not at all. No,
Really?
not at all.
You stopped eating two bricks of butter a day. Yeah, it turns out I just lost all this weight.
No, you know, I drank a lot of beer, Sienna Rata Pale Ale, and you know, I mean, that's a lot of yeast and whatnot, and I mean, it just, you know, and sugar, and so when I decided to quit it, and I quit the sugar as well, because I drank soda too, and it pretty much dropped, you know.
Nice. Sugar is a son. I mean, we got a burrito from Nelson's today, and I was like, looked at their burritos, and I'm like,
Those soda pops.
I want it so bad. Like, yeah, like the Mexican sodas. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, they have like 50 grams of sugar. And that's like, what, 2 times our daily allotment. And it's like,
And I feel it.
I
It's
feel
the
it.
whole thing that blows my mind with sugar is like my knees get all sore and I'm just like kind of achy. I'm like, how does it do that?
That's so
blows my
bad for
mind.
you.
yeah,
So
it's
bad
so
for you.
bad. That's
Energy drinks too.
Yeah.
I don't do
Oh.
energy drinks. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm kind of a purist.
Yeah, and just only beer. No, but now I guess potato vodka is pretty clean, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Nice.
And I do it with, you know, a little bit of soda water, and it's just, you know, a soda stream.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know,
I've been
there's
thinking
no
about getting
sugar.
one of those to make my own, like just even carbonated water.
That's
So for
exactly
a while,
what I
see,
do.
I put a glass of water for you right there. Initially, I had, you've seen Death Water, their cans. They're like $2 a can. And I'm like, why am I spending $2 to give people bubbly water? It's just like I could just soda stream it up. You're a fan of them?
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get one.
Yeah.
Only like $70 or something. They're like not that
There's
bad.
actually right now we've got one for $49.99.
Wow. Now you say the 99. Just say 50.
Yeah.
Like what?
I
So
know.
like as a
retail.
peer into the inside, like why don't you guys just say 50?
They're changing that.
Are they?
Really?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Nice.
Our company's gone through a kind of a change, and we have a new CEO.
24-year-old who's like, fuck the $49.99.
No,
50.
he's older. I'm not quite sure how old he is, but you know, it is a matter of, you know, things are not $19.99 anymore. It's $20.
Yeah.
You know,
Which I love.
I love.
which
Big
makes
fan.
sense, especially for us in Oregon, because we don't have tax.
Tax.
Oh, I get one
Good
penny. Yeah, that's the
point.
whole thing.
You know,
Yeah.
And in other states, it should just, hey, here's the price after tax.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no sense in, like,
Oh,
the
it's
tax should be
so
taken off on their side rather than your
Mhm.
side. They should just list it $2 extra or whatever it is. And
right?
again, that's a big reason we never leave Oregon. Is like we go somewhere and we're like, I have a $20 bill, and it
You
says
go to the
$19.99. Like
Uh-huh.
you can't buy it though. I'm like, hate anywhere that's not Oregon and Michigan. It's like one other
How do I
state,
pump gas?
Wisconsin. Yeah,
I think it's isn't it New Jersey?
New Jersey. Yeah,
Or
one
maybe
other
it's
place.
New Jersey that you can't pump gas here in New Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I
there's
also
two
like
states
that.
you can't
I'm
pump
pretty
gas.
untraveled. So.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
We go to like 2 or 3 states, and every time we're like, yeah,
Home.
we're going
I
back
want to drink
home.
out of the tap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know.
Well, and that's the other thing. You know, Eugene water is actually really good.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the more recent people who came on the show, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago,
Mm-hmm.
he came and it was him and his girlfriend. They've been traveling all around the U.S. and they have a reverse osmosis filter. So they say they fill it
They
up.
live in
from-
a bus.
They
just
live
as
in a bus.
Preface. Yeah.
And every time they like go to different places and they say, Oregon, you have actually really similar water to California in terms of like what their filter looks like after filtering it. It tastes better here, but in terms of like how clean it actually is and like what you like drinking, they're like, there's not a notable difference between Oregon and California. I'm like, well, that's heartbreaking to hear. And then you look up a reverse osmosis filter, $300 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh,
But, like,
I want to drink clean
low-key.
water. Is that much to ask?
Yeah, I when I had my property out in Cheshire, I had reverse osmosis because I was on a well, you know, and you know, it was
Calcium is a bitch.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
and so's rust. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so bad, you know, but yeah, but
Kidney
I
stones,
think Eugene,
here I come.
I know.
Yeah. No, so again, this is like my first big move into town, and I swear to God, the water here is slowly killing me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you taste the floor. It just
you
tastes.
went from a well.
I went from a well.
Yes.
That was like
Uh-huh.
all that and more. It was like, oh, this is the taste. To the point where like once a month when I go back and see my parents, I like load up a water bottle and I like sip on it for the rest of the day. I'm like, clean
treat.
water. Yeah, it's truly a treat. Much like going to the ocean, like when you're down in Mexico and you go in ocean water and it's warm and it's nice. It's like what I wouldn't do to be able to do that here, you know?
Yeah, that'll
That's
never
one of the
happen.
biggest
Well,
things.
it's starting to happen here.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, but yeah.
I mean, then we have maniac friends who go surf here, and it's like, what's wrong with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so nice. So now I guess we pretty much know your entire story. There's got to be some missing links in there, man.
Oh God, there's
Yeah?
so many missing links.
What are some notable, like if you were speed dating, what would be some notable things where you're like, you should know this about me?
That's a really difficult question because
On the
there's just
spot,
so much.
whatnot, yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah,
You
but-
know, I mean, I've lived a life. It's been interesting.
Yeah. What are some parts that have like formed you as a person and as a man where you're like some people like rock climb and they almost die and they're like, I don't go on heights. Like, or I go like, you know, skydiving or surfing and stuff. And then they saw a shark. Like, have you had any like things that you've gone into and you're like, I mean, I don't promote anything to people. Like a friend of ours plays basketball and he like jammed his finger on like any sports and stuff. I'm like, we're babies at the end of the day in terms of like everything out there hurts you. And then like we have a close friend who we met through who claims he has no chronic pain. Whereas Kenzie and I, much like we said, like we drink one soda and we're in pain for like a couple hours. Are you someone who has like chronic pain or are you like a pain-free living person?
No, I don't really have that much pain.
Ah,
you know?
another one. What is it? What's your secret? How do you not have chronic pain?
It's just I think it's clean living.
Yeah, clean living, vodka, baby. That's hilarious.
Um,
And smoking cigarettes.
and smoking
So
cigarettes.
to me,
And
you have a
everything
glass
else.
of vodka with some club soda and then a cigarette. It's clean living, baby. Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that one of the things is I try not to let things bother me. You know, I just let it roll off my back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm one of those. I've always been one of those people that, you know, I'm okay, I'm good. And, you know, I'm always there for somebody if they have an issue or if they have a problem and they come to me and whatnot, you know. So I've always really tried to do that and be that person.
Yeah.
So I soak up their issues and don't think about my own.
Those are the friends and people that I've known who always like end up offing themselves or dying in some way or another.
Yeah.
Have you ever been like in a mindset where you're not just okay, or you're like kind of like have suicidal ideations? I say this just because a couple months ago, a friend of mine who was like very that like I'm always there for people recently passed away. So I'm like I'm starting, and I mean people like the most famous examples, that one comedian.
He
was
was
on
in
SNL.
Dead Poet Society.
Yeah,
Robin Williams.
Yeah,
Yes.
Robin Williams. Like
Yeah.
it's like that's the most classic example. But
Yeah.
like I think a lot
Same
of us,
week that my friend here killed herself.
Wow. And was she one of those people who's just always happy and there for other people?
Oh my gosh, of course.
Yeah, so it like tends to be
You know.
those people. So do you ever have like faults in that kind of
Not at
lifestyle? Or?
all.
Not at all.
No. You know, it's so selfish. So selfish. You know, when she did this, you know, everybody was so concerned about me, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?"
But you
And we had
do
a
start
pact.
thinking about it after that happened. Like so after that friend, like I like as much as I wouldn't be like I thought about killing myself. You think about what it is to kill yourself more after a close friend kills themselves. So you like start to think of it as a thing that happened.
Well, sure. You know, I mean, my grandfather killed himself.
Wow.
You know, I mean, you know,
Mine did, too.
I know of,
That's nutty.
I know
My dad's dead.
of suicides and whatnot, you know, but there's just so many unanswered questions that I can't do that to the people that I love.
I know that always. I think that's probably everyone here. You go and ask every single person in the Whitaker, would you kill yourself if like you know every single loved one of yours also didn't have to deal with the repercussions? Everyone just presses the button immediately. Everyone wants off the ride, but everyone's like,
My
oh,
dog would be sad.
my
and
dog,
my mom would be
be sad, or my friend, or my partner, and it's like everyone like has things tying to them existence, and I mean that's like what Kinsey and I are really realizing. It's like once like your parents die, it's like then if you kill yourself, it's less selfish until you have kids, and then it's even more selfish than having parents. It's like a lot of people are like trapped in the middle of like two really valid reasons why they can't. But then people who like, so you said your parents are passed and you don't have kids, so you have to like have a very robust reason to live, kind of thing, you know. Just in pure enjoyment, like fucking, I get to
you
go
know,
on
I have
vacation,
no
motherfucker.
issues. You know, yeah,
I'm jealous.
You
What
know,
can I
I mean,
say?
me and my friend had a pact, and we had said that we would, you know, we had talked about suicide and whatnot, and we said that we would not ever do it because, you know, her
So
dad was still alive,
Anti-suicide.
and
pact.
my parents were
Yeah.
alive.
Mm-hmm.
But then my mom passed, and then she took her life, and you know, I
broke
was
that
just
pact.
like, you know, I mean, honestly, you know, it's just not something that.
You saw how it affected you and everyone around her. I
Oh my
assume.
God, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Death is. It's just one of those things that's like you can't really and then you like I mean even before this friend, like when I was in high school, like the last year, a friend died like climbing a tree, fell off from like it was in Humboldt County, so it was like 50 feet or 50 yards or however high.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see like at the memorial, all their friends, their family, and everything, you're like, this affects a ton of people, and like you kind of have dreams about that person every once in a while for like a couple months after, and it's like, whoa, it's nutty how much just the aspect of like, oh, I can't say anything to that person anymore kind of like sticks in there. So it's like, if only it wasn't 10 out of 10 of us die, you know. If there was like a glimpse of hope, it sure would be like, oh, maybe I'm gonna be that 1 out of 10 people who never dies.
Right? Yeah. No, that's not gonna happen.
Are you sure?
Sorry, 10 out of
Are
10
you
of us.
sure?
Medicine's getting pretty good.
They'll freeze me. They'll bring me back.
Yeah, there you go.
If there was an actual way where you could just get frozen today in 2021, and there's a like 40% chance or whatever that cryogenics like are allowed to, would you get frozen today? Either one of you?
Nope.
No? I think I would.
It would depend on my external circumstances.
Yeah,
Like if I had,
seriously.
you know, kids or something.
Oh, mommy will have frozen.
I mean, it's
She'll be
kinda
back
like-
when you're about 45.
That'd be kind of cool though.
That'd be weird. And you're the same age as the kid. Like, you don't age when you're in there.
Oh.
So it's like your mom's 20 years younger than you.
I'd consider it.
That'd
at
be
this
pretty
point in
cool.
my
I
life.
know, 'cause
That'd
I'd be like,
kind of interesting.
Imagine how good video games will be in 20 years. Let's
Oh
be
my
honest here.
God.
Okay, and like, oh, hey, every TV show you're waiting to finish, oh, you get to watch all the shows. You come out of cryogenics for 2 years, and you go back in for another 20. Every
You're
time you just
gonna
get to binge
binge.
all the best shows, play all the best video games. That would be a pretty...
Yeah, like a little 2-year freeze.
Yeah.
Just take a little break.
Yeah.
You know what? Yes.
That's what
Right?
vacations are.
Yeah.
I take vacations.
Yeah.
I don't want to get frozen. I want to enjoy that time.
Yeah, we take 20-year cryogenically frozen breaks. That's the
It's
way.
a different kind of
Yeah,
vacation.
you're alive through a 1,000-year span, but you're frozen every 2 years. You're frozen for another 20
You
of
miss
it.
the best parts. You come back and it's just like
Yeah,
the
every time
apocalypse.
it's like the
COVID
great
times 10.
the COVID and like the 2008. Like you literally just keep unfreezing at like the worst parts of humanity. Just put me in for another 20. Oh, that was a great 20 years. Pretty much like a month after you went in. It's chaos out there now. Put me back in.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if I'd want to wake up and after 20 years, who knows what's going to be out there.
Come on, I'm still waiting on Shrek 5. Because if we went in 20 years ago, we would have came out. We would have had like the Kung Fu Panda movies, How to Train. Like, think of all the movies, Red Dead Redemption. Like we'd have so many games and movies to play. It's funny that whole franchises would start up and fall just in those 20 years.
If I could go in it with someone else, that would be cool. Because
Yeah.
like just thinking of Futurama, that's my like where
You
I'm
ever watched
basing
that
it.
show?
I have, yeah.
So
You
it'd be
know?
we're thinking of that, but on a way lower scale than 1,000 years. Holy cow. 1,000 years would be too much. We'd be like cavemen coming out and be like, ooga booga.
Yeah, really.
Looking at a fucking map book. But, like 20 years, it's like, you can maybe kind of stay on the point.
Maybe.
There's like a training lesson specifically for people after 20 years. Like, all right, this is all that's happened. It kind of like,
It's just a PowerPoint.
not forgetting Sarah Marshall, that other one with Adam Sandler, where they like make a movie.
Lick.
No.
Oh no, where they
50
with
First
Drew
Dates. Yes.
Drew Barrymore, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you come out and it's like Adam Sandler on a ukulele
Uh-huh.
singing you
The
like
same thing
hey,
every day.
Yeah,
every day,
here's
every day.
what's happened
It's almost
over
like
the
Groundhog
past
Day
decade.
in a way.
Yeah.
Love
Honestly,
that
that's
movie.
when I'm like now because I've never thought of this idea before, and now I'm just daydreaming of how many movies. Because again, like so that's what Kenzie and I deal with is like. We're kind of ran out of TV shows to watch. We ran out of movies to watch, and like we're almost watching B-tier movies and B-tier TV shows. And it's like, if only we could just skip like, cause especially like Rick and Morty. Like all our favorite shows come out like once every. Oh yeah, we come out in 20 years, and there'd be 2 new seasons of Rick and Morty. That's the whole thing. It's like, oh hey, here's 1 season of your favorite TV show.
Every 5 years.
Fuck, I know. And they even end it like that, but yeah, man. So like week to week basis, like what's your favorite part of the week? You got something that you look forward to? I mean, you're a busy man.
I'm a busy man. I have a great cancer support dinner on Monday nights, which we've been doing for a couple years, which
And
I
you said
just
it was
love.
skin cancer?
Anaplastic large T-cell lymphoma is the true diagnosis that I have.
Lymphoma is white blood cell?
It's a blood cell. And now we'll see what happens with this, thing.
Yeah.
I was actually with my friends last night about it, and we're trying to plan a trip.
Oh, fun.
We're either thinking Cabo or see, I travel.
Can
Cabo
I be
or
55
San Diego.
already? What the heck? You're talking
Yeah.
to people who like travel once every decade. I just went on a trip. I'm planning another with all my close friends.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean,
That's the
I
thing.
haven't. I usually take a big trip every year, and I haven't been able to for the last couple of years. I tried to go. I have a nephew that lives in Spain, and I tried to go visit him in March. But the Spanish consulate, it was just too difficult to get through to them,
Because the vax was not in March or like what?
Yeah, well, they were still closed borders, and everything's pretty closed up down there.
Yeah.
So I thought I could go see another friend of mine that's from Australia that lives in Finland, and I have Finnish. I'm part Finnish in my blood, and that would have been fun. But to travel to Europe is just
Finnish.
At that point,
Yeah.
it's just it's a little bit too much.
And we're just getting started here. I'm kidding.
Where's your dream place to travel?
Yeah.
Like if there was
as
no.
a traveler.
Yeah, if there was
Greece.
no restrictions right
Greece,
now.
one of my Spain and Greece are the next 2 places I want to go.
Cool.
And what are the favorite places you've already gone?
I love Italy. I love
See,
Italy.
we haven't
What do
even
you
really
like
gotten
about
off
it?
the continent.
Italy.
Do they have the canals there? That-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Venice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
We just
I
watched
traveled
tourists.
through the Venice.
So
yeah,
nice.
there's no cars on the island. I mean, it's amazing.
No cars.
Florence.
You're
is
the one person with
amazing.
cars.
Florence is amazing. I'm
For
a
the
garden
sites,
person.
or- Okay.
I mean, the museums are amazing, but I went for a 26-mile walk one day.
Wow, you walked a marathon in a day?
Yeah. It was amazing.
Just like speed walking the whole day.
No, I enjoyed every aspect of it.
Did you have an
know?
Apple Watch at that time? Or like
I
something
did,
to track?
yeah.
Okay, so you got like you tracked it.
Oh, yeah.
You're competing with someone, you just crushed them.
Yeah, well, I wasn't competing with anybody. I just had I got up really early in the morning and I was just like, I want to go for a walk.
Yeah.
And so I went for a walk and then
The day
I was
just took you.
yeah, and I was meeting some friends for dinner that evening and then I realized that I had been walking all day.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So I truly love gardens. I have a garden at my house,
Nice. We'll have to come see the place eventually.
yeah,
We're-
definitely.
We're competing with Mark currently. Would you share fitness information and compete every once in a while?
Uh-huh.
Awesome. That'll be
Very
fun.
motivating.
Yeah.
I went over the other day and he was like, "Are you even gonna try?"
You even gonna try?
Because I had slept in that day. It was like my last day that I could sleep in, and
Uh-huh.
he was way ahead of me, and I was like, "Oh hell no!"
Kenzie's been on it the past 2 days. She's like circling
3.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called winning, baby.
It's called going for walks and runs daily. It's like something humans were literally made to do,
Yeah.
but for some reason we never get around to
I'm
it.
in pain. I'm so
I'm
sore.
I
You feel
crush
funny.
my stand every day, and
Yeah.
I crush my move every day.
Yes.
But I can't. The calories. I just for some reason it just I'm almost there, but I think I
Exercise
need to
rate's
change it.
tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes off your heart rate, so you have to exceed 135, and I just have a very efficient heart, so I just don't cross that barrier unless I'm
I have a
like
very
really
efficient heart.
giving it. Sorry, I have a low resting heart rate.
Yeah.
I do not.
Weird flex.
Yeah, weird flex. But every once in a while, I'll take like a certain thing that like raises my heart rate a bunch, and it like circles my ring
Yeah,
twice.
we
and
were
I'm
playing video games. That
yeah,
first
or like
week.
I was playing video games, and
You
just
got
my heart
really
rate gets like
amped.
amped, and like my exercise ring goes like around 1.5, and I didn't even walk that day, and I'm like, oh, I can game this system pretty easily. Like, Apple Watch, you're not perfect here.
Right.
Like, you should know, it's like, hey, I've been in the one position for 2 hours. Maybe this wasn't exercise.
Hey, do you have a heart arrhythmia?
Yeah, I know, seriously. Why are you getting up to 160? I'm playing Super Smash Bros. Chill out, Apple Watch. Oh, nice. So you've been to off the continent. Have you been to Africa? Have you been?
I've not been to Africa.
you,
I've
like,
been
you
to
cross that
Central.
off on the map. You're like, not there.
Yeah, I've not been there yet. I want to go to Australia. Of course, I want to go to Greece. Greece may happen next year. It's a friend's 50th birthday.
Ooh.
So there's
How do you have
talk
friends
about
around
doing
the
that.
world? Like, they're also traveling to these places? Or?
Well, a lot of my friends are here, but people that I've met, like at Burning Man or
Nice.
whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why we should really go to Burning Man, is to make friends, which gives us a good excuse to, travel here.
Mm-hmm.
We're like at Burning Man meeting new people. I'm from, where's the place? I'm from Iceland, or from Greenland. You can just go talk to another person. Like, you literally just make friends of all, like, hey, where are you from? That's the first question you ask.
Oh, are you from Japan? Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you there.
We're like best friends already.
well, that's also the dead. Going to for traveling and seeing the dead, meeting people that we're from wherever. So yeah,
Nice.
and I guess I'm kind of a a friendly person, and
Yeah, you
I'm
very
easy
much
to
so
talk
are.
to. So
Are you one of those take LSD and dance in circles? Isn't that the most
Oh my
classic dead thing
gosh.
ever?
Oh
There's
my
the
gosh.
circles, right?
I used to drums in space would be crazy. I'd just be like, blah. It was just insane.
I gotta see Dancing Donny someday.
Oh my gosh.
Something that needs to happen at this point. No, like would you like travel around with them on the bus, or like did you literally just happen to be in the place that they were like already performing at 47 times?
Oh no, I'd travel.
You travel for nice. You're one of the dead live people, because so many of my Deadhead friends are just like, their recorded albums are shit. You have to listen to their live albums.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of bootlegs. There was a lot of taping going on, and that you would switch your tapes, and here's this tape, here's that tape. Oh my gosh,
Now you're living in the world of
72 or whatever.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you find your good ones, and it was just a magical time. Especially the LSD did help.
Yeah, as it does on the daily. No, I'm kidding. Believe it or not, we're close to an hour. Do you have like something you want to promote, like in terms of like, are you a big social media person?
No, not really. I'm on
Twitter?
No, I'm on. I have a Twitter account. I don't really use it. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook.
Cool.
I just, I don't have a lot of time.
Nothing you want random people following you.
No.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people are like that. I expect almost every guest, like when I started this, to be like, I want to promote this and this. But like, I'd say like 7 out of 10 people are like, I got nothing to promote. Thanks for having me. And they just want to come out and hang out and talk. Which
It's fun.
It's a joy.
It's been a great time. You know, I really didn't know what to expect. So
yeah, no one does.
I was a little apprehensive because I was like going, do I really want to go over there and do
what's
this?
This gonna be? And then you're like, oh, he has a room for it, and it's like,
oh yeah, no, it's
there's gonna
awesome.
be no topics. What's going on?
Well, I saw
here?
that you had posted. You had done a show the other day,
Yeah.
and so I saw that, and I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys have put me at ease.
We
And there's
appreciate
nothing that I'm a pretty open person, so I'm not gonna.
And you've lived a life. That's definitely worth sharing. And
that's a
talking
joy.
about.
It's a scrape.
Just on my show for the first time, because we haven't mentioned it. Kenzie, you've done one show. How was it sitting in my seat? Or she was sitting there, the guest was here, and I was there. Like, we literally rotated one.
Oh, it's very anxiety-inducing for me. And that's kind of why I was like, well, we have a whole room in our house that's dedicated to it. So I was like, and he's also like, you should try it. You should dabble in it. And I am so anxious meeting new people. So I'm like, this is a great opportunity for like talking to strangers and getting to know people and just working on my conversation skills. And it was rough. It was a rough first 3 minutes, even though it was with a friend. And I mean, I was pitted out.
Oh my, she wore a gray shirt that day. Gray shirts do not do well with being pitted.
It was not, no, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
No, you guys, you made me feel really at home, and asked the questions that it was perfect. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate it. Lots of love. And yeah, thanks for starting the show late today. I almost want to tell all guests, like, show up later rather than earlier. Like, sometimes people show up like 10 minutes early, and I'm like, I am not ready. Like, I get ready last minute, for most people. But yeah.
No, I got off work, and I was like, okay, I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning,
a lot of
and I've
people.
worked all day, and now I just want to sit down for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then, so it worked out perfect.
And a lot of people in your position are like, let's do a show at like 11 a.m. I'm like, I woke up at 1 today. I'm not awake at that time.
You woke up when I got back from a full day at
yeah,
school.
so I'm like, no. I'm like,
and congratulations with the nursing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yes, it'll be fun.
Good stuff. Thank you for coming on the show, Donny
Absolutely.
Peroddy. Episode like 136 or 7 again. So like we're 3 or 4 episodes. The episodes come out every other day, every 3 days when I'm lazy. So this will come out in like a week. I appreciate your time, man.
Okay, thank you.
Cacao kapow.
Absolutely.
Bam. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening and a gorgeous day. Kenzie's supposed to press the
I did press it. I'm having issues today.
She's so delayed. She's like, that's a cool guy.
I got a little mesmerized.
Oh, good.